Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Atypical Security Guard. I am super excited today. We have a great episode of the Security Guard Spotlight. Guys, listen, if you've been following my content, you've been following this page, you know that everything about what we're doing is based around educating, motivating, informing, and training entry-level and new security guards. So today, guys, I'm bringing on somebody who I have been a huge fan of since I got into this YouTube game. This man is an entrepreneur. He's an officer. He is a fellow cigar lover and whiskey aficionado, and it's my man Diesel TV.
YouTube, what it is? It's your boy Diesel from Diesel TV.
Yo, what's up, big dog?
What's going on, man? YouTube, what it is? How we doing out there?
Man, we're doing good. I'm so happy to have you here, man. I feel like I'm arriving.
Nah, man, you know, you got me on IG, man, and I started following you, man, and you just seem very legit and about your stuff, man. So you asked me to come on, you know, I'm willing to help as many people as I can. So hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. Let's do it.
So, man, Diesel, huge fan of yours. Thank you so much for blessing me and coming on here. Just let everybody know where you're at, where you're from. Like, what's your story? What's your background?
Well, I've been in law enforcement 16 years. I was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, around my early 10, 12 years old, somewhere around there. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's where I was raised. I got out of high school, and I knew from elementary school I wanted to be a cop. So I got out of high school, got into security. I did some armed security when I turned 18. I started off doing park security at one of our theme parks called Carowinds. I was doing security there. That was not armed. But then after I turned 18, I could carry a gun. So I started doing armed security. I did that until I could become a police officer. And I basically grinded through it, man, and did both security and went to basic law enforcement training to get my certificate, and that was back in 2005. And I've been doing it since then, man. Just been doing officer policing since then, man. I've got some big things coming up that I'm going to be announcing later on this month pertaining to my career. But yeah, man, that's what's up, man. That's basically what I've been doing.
That's crazy. You know, I actually lived in Philadelphia for about 8 years.
Oh, okay.
King of Prussia area. And I did my PA Act 235 and got my constable certification in Harrisburg. So it's crazy, like how small the world is. And I actually, I had a job offer in North Carolina in Raleigh back in 2008.
Really?
And beautiful area, man. You like the barbecue out there?
No, I'm not a barbecue freak, man. I'm more of a steak and potatoes kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But
how do you like your steak?
Medium to medium rare. Like if I go to a restaurant, I usually order medium rare.
Okay.
And they cook it medium.
Yeah.
You know, because most restaurants don't know how to cook steak. But if I cook my own, it's right at the medium rare, medium kind of feel.
You a T-bone guy?
No, man. Ribeye. Ribeye is my cut, man.
Well, I feel like the bone, it gives it a little bit more flavor. I mean,
I like bone in ribeye. I do like bone in ribeye, but when it comes to my cut, I just love ribeyes, man. Ribeyes is second to none to me. I like fillets too, but you can't go wrong with a fillet. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, everybody like fillets, but I'll do a ribeye any day over a fillet.
Hey, I want to ask you about the policing aspect of what you're doing. How many years have you been a cop?
16 years. Well, since 2005, I had to take off about a year of policing not too long ago because I got into a little bit of I'm not gonna say any trouble because I didn't do anything wrong, but I had to take off because some things happened. I was set up and I had to take a year off to get all that stuff figured out. Now I'm back in it. So I've been back into it. Yeah, I've been back into it for what's this, October. Actually, I started almost exactly a year ago back in policing.
Good deal, man. Welcome back, man. Sometimes you get caught up in the game and you know you gotta go through the paces and get back into it. So congratulations on getting back in.
Appreciate it,
man. You know, we talk very transparent on my show, and if anything is something that you don't want to talk about, just
Oh yeah.
play through it or whatever. But how do you feel about the recent issues with law enforcement? You being a police officer, being back on the force, you came back right when things were just, I don't want to say falling apart, but
Right.
there's clearly been a shift in the public perception of policing. There's clearly been a shift in the public support of policing. So you coming back right at the height of that whole, BLM movement, the George Floyd protest, how did you feel coming back versus when you left? Did you see a difference?
Well, see, the thing about policing, man, nothing's changed. What has changed is the light that's being put on it. So, like, you still had the same cops doing kind of like the same thing they're doing today, man. It's just you don't know who has a cell phone. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's pulling it out to video. And that once that started happening, the true light of law enforcement came out, man. So it was one of those things to where I've seen things happen. I've made comments of things happen, and it just, a lot of times got swept under the rug. And then now that there are actually video out there of it, it's kind of like one of those things like law enforcement just got hit with a ton of bricks and they don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? It's like, set aside the fact that the officer is doing something wrong, but just the fact that there's a video out there of it is like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. Law enforcement has been what it is, and I'm glad that there are a lot more people that's willing to stand up, because there was a time, man, where I would tell, if a female was getting harassed by a police officer or something like that, I'd be like, look, you need to go to a supervisor. And they were so scared to do it because they thought what would happen, what that police officer would do to them. And now it's not even a problem no more. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the type of officers that we don't need on the streets.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, why do you continue being a police officer? Because if I stop being a police officer, then that one good officer that's still on the streets ain't gonna be there no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, why stop? Why take a good officer off the streets just because I'm frustrated with what everybody else is doing?
So you feel that shift, and listen, I'm assuming that you and I are probably close in age. That shift of everybody having a camera, and everybody, in terms of the officers, and it's even like this for security. Now with this shift of everybody having a camera and you always being in the public view, so to speak, 24/7, do you feel that transparency has been good for policing, or do you feel like it makes it harder for you to do your job?
I think it's been great for policing, because the thing about it is, true colors come out sometimes, that when a person gets mad or upset or something like that, and those true colors being on video just makes it that much more, you can't deny it. I mean, it's like, there are racist officers out there. I mean, there's racist people everywhere. It's in every job that you have, every career that you have. You're gonna have racist people. You're gonna have people that are just dumb, stupid, and they do stupid things. But racism is one of the things that's one of the easiest things to hide, because there are certain statements that you could feel one way about and still not be racist, but then you could say the same exact thing and be a total racist. So it's one of those things that within the public eye, those little cues that you get off a person being racist are just that much more out there. So the officer has to either be that much more careful, or they just get caught and then they get out of law enforcement.
Yeah. Diesel, I got a question for you, and it kind of popped up in my head as we were talking about this. We've been going for about 10 minutes, and internally, I'm having this feeling like, move off the racism topic, right?
Okay.
Do you ever feel, being a YouTuber and being a police officer, so and being pro 2A, because I kind of feel like this. I feel like when we're black men in the pro 2A space, I'm very conscious of not playing in the stereotypes, right? Like I'm already tattooed like a motherfucker, so like I wear a lot of flannel because I live in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not doing that to try and fit in, but I'm black, I'm big, I'm brash, I'm tattooed, so I try really hard to articulate myself.
Right.
I try really hard to like talk about issues that are just pro 2A and not get into the racial undertones. My question to you: do you ever feel, as a police officer, being in North Carolina and also being on YouTube, that there's certain aspects of this conversation that we're having that you kind of have to steer away from?
It's sad that you even have to ask me that, man, because when it comes down to it, and you know, I don't mind talking about it. I can't get in too much detail of what I went through as far as that because it's still, you know, litigation going on. But when it comes down to it, man, the reason why I had to take a year off of work is because of a racial situation. I was a assistant chief and I had an agent that was just throwing all kinds of racial slurs. And when the chief didn't do anything about it, I went over his head. So they set me up and got rid of me. So for me to say, just get away from that conversation, it's kind of like I can't because I know it's there. I know it happens. It actually happened to me. It ended up getting me 2 felonies. You know what I'm saying? I was charged with 2 felonies and had to fight that, you know, to keep my career. So I do try to stay away from just the generalized, and I know this is gonna come off bad, but the generalized public racist stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're racist because you only reason you stopped me because I'm black. That kind of stuff
Right.
I try to stay away from.
Right.
Yeah, of course. But we can't deny the fact that there is still some kind of racism going on in the law enforcement security field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was talking to, I don't know if you know Commander Hall.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
But he did a video just the other day of he couldn't get contracts because he's black. You know, so I mean, it's there. It's sad that it's still there, but it is there. And it's something that we need. You know, I don't feel it would give you know, us justice in this field to just skip over it and ignore it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I mean, it's not funny. Let me say that it's not funny.
Right.
But he had a video. Hall had a video up and he was like, yeah, I got this contract. We're going to be out working at this swimming pool, like blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I'm watching the video and I'm like, because I already know, right? Mm-hmm. And then like 2 days later, he was like, man, like everything was great. They told us to park down the street and then like they didn't want us talking to anybody.
I tried to tell Commander Hall the reason why he didn't get it because he ugly as heck. But I ain't even want to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but when he was talking about like he was like, man, like you know, we we talked to everybody and it seems like the white women they tend to. I'm like, yep. And man, I could tell so many stories. That's just part of our existence, and I feel like so many times in the 2A community, our experience as Black men, there's no room for it because I've been around so many people and they're like, man, you know, you're different, man, you're different. Like, you know, you're not the kind of person that I expected and blah, blah, blah.
Right. I get the same thing.
Right. But at the same time, like, you know, there are issues within the 2A community and within law enforcement that I would love to be able to have open dialogue and conversations about it. But it turns off those people that in other situations and circumstances, they're more supportive of us. You know what I mean?
Right. And see that, and you hit it home, man. It's like one of those things to where if the person isn't Black, they just don't want to know what's going on. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to have anything to do with it or anything like that. Because like when I tell my story to other officers that are not Black, they're like, they really like just be silent the whole time, don't have any questions or anything like that. But you know how it is. If you tell them a story or anything else, they want to know every detail there is.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to know hardly anything about what happened with me when it came down to it, because it ultimately came down to the N-word, and the agent wouldn't stop using the N-word. So I went over to the chief's head, and like I said, they just set me up.
Man, there's a gun holster company. I have him on my page, my YouTube channel, and it's called Gorilla Tactical. Right. And he makes Kydex products, things like that. I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I came across his page, and he has on a shirt, and this is a white dude, and he has a shirt, and on the back of it, it says, "Keep racism out of the 2A community." And dude, I kid you not, man. I don't mean to say this like to be overly emotional. Man, I almost cried because I was like, man, like I've never seen a white person in the 2A community even broach that subject.
Right, because it's a lot of people that don't acknowledge that it's everywhere, and they feel like there are safe places for it not to be, and it's just not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like that. Like if you have so many people in one, and I'm not saying it's just white people being racist, it's black people that's racist too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, it's and when you have a bunch of different people in one organization, like the 2A community, or like law enforcement, or like security, you're bound to have some kind of racism going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the beast.
Hey, what kind of cigar are you smoking?
I am smoking a PDR Flores Rodriguez.
Okay.
Connecticut Flores Rodriguez.
I got into cigars last year.
Okay.
For the first time in my life.
Right.
And I started smoking Drew Estates.
Drew Estates. Right? Okay, you're going to explain. You got to be more specific because Drew Estates got like 1,000 different cigars.
So I started with the cold infused, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so I love the way it tastes. You know what I mean? I really liked it. And then when I moved up here to Portland, I went to this actual cigar, like they've got a cigar bar where you can like sit at the bar and smoke cigars, all kinds of stuff. And I asked for a cold infused, and the man was like, "Yeah, we don't sell those here. Like that's a college kid cigar. We don't do that." Yeah. He goes, "Now, if you're looking for something that's Drew Estates," he goes, "I have these leather rose, right?"
I can't do leather rose.
Have you ever had it before?
I have. They're too sweet for me, man.
Too sweet for you?
I don't really do the infused cigars. I do more like if I do one, I do a Drew Estates. It's called a Tabac.
Okay.
And it's probably one of my favorite infused. It is my favorite infused cigar because it's infused with coffee. But that's the only really infused cigar I smoke. I don't smoke anything else infused. And I tried that leather rose and the big bottom Betty or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
They're just too sweet, man. It is entirely too sweet for me.
Do you drink whiskey?
I do.
What's your brand?
I don't have a brand of you know what? There is not a brand. I mean, I like all kinds of different, drinks. I have Elijah Craig over here, which is a bourbon.
Talk about it. That's my brand.
I got Eagle Rare over there, Buffalo Trace, Blanton's.
Do you like Knob Creek?
I've never had Knob Creek. I've been trying to get a bottle of Knob Creek just to try it. I probably like it's either Elijah Craig or Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare are probably running neck and neck with mine. What I usually drink with mine.
So I usually drink Elijah Craig all the time, but I have a friend that he swears by Knob Creek.
Right.
So I got a bottle of smoked maple.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of this. We're gonna give this a taste.
See, the thing, people don't realize it. See, when I get into something, I get into it heavy. Yeah. All right. So when I got into cigars back in 2000 and probably 7 or 8, somewhere around there, I just started researching about cigars and what people do with cigars, what are the traditions and all that stuff. And then so I went to start researching Cuba. And Cubans, they drink espresso with their cigars.
Really?
So I tried it. And that's all I drink now.
Bro,
if I'm really wanting to taste the cigar, I drink some kind of espresso coffee or black coffee or something like that with my cigar. And it is hands down the best pairing you can do with a cigar.
Okay, so here's my thing. Generally, when I smoke a good cigar, like a full cigar, let's be honest, these are starter cigars.
Okay? Right.
If I was to smoke something like you're smoking, I would feel a little high, to be honest with you, right? If I were to have that and then mix that with an espresso, like I would be.
Well, probably because you're inhaling. You're not supposed to inhale.
I mean, I don't inhale it into my lungs, but I bring it in.
Yeah, I don't inhale or nothing. I don't know. I might have been smoking for so long. It don't even affect me like that no more. But
okay, let me just say this.
Good. Is it good?
Bro, oh my God. It tastes like I'm drinking syrup, man. Like maple syrup. It is so buttery smooth. That's gonna be a problem. Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to try that Knob Creek then. I see that right now.
Okay, smoked maple. This is it.
I'll try it.
I can tell right now this is gonna be an early night for your boy. So I see on your page that you do a lot with firearms. You have an
Yep.
amazing wall of firearms, man. What kind of stuff you rocking with over there?
Man, bro, listen. My gun, like I told you, when I get into stuff, I go extremely overboard. I just I don't know what it is, man. I see a gun and I want it and I buy it for some reason. I don't know why. I'm actually having to move my gun closet to a bigger room, a bigger closet, and make that gun closet into my storage, and then make my other closet into my gun closet because I'm just running out of room. But I have pretty much anything that's out there that's on the norm. I have some older stuff that I keep in my safe, but what I keep on my wall is what is like what you'll find most people talking about.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to grab real easy and quick. Don't have to, go through my safe and find it. So I'll just grab it off the wall and go to the range and shoot it or something like that. I just recently bought a Sig P320 Vtac with the Leupold dot on it. And I bought another, I bought a H&K MP5 clone, another MP5 clone. So
okay. Well, this is perfect because I am looking to branch out. All I've ever owned, firearm wise, so handgun wise, is Glocks, right? So I've got the Glock 17 Gen 3, I've got Glock 26 Gen 5, I've got a Glock 43, I've got, a couple of other firearms out there, but I'm looking at the Sig P365 that has it's got the red dot already attached to it, and I'm looking
You're talking about the 365 XL.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the Canic. What's the Canic?
You got a Canic SPL, Canic Elite. You got a Canic. Man, Canic. There. I always say it's a Canic 123 ABC because they got so many letters and numbers behind that Canic name.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. So give me so if you can, let's break down the differences from your perspective between let's just take like the Glock 19, the Sig P365, and then the Canic 9mm of comparable quality. What is it that you like about each one? What are their faults? This would be a great way for you to kind of give us some info here, because I'm going to buy something new outside of the Glock. It's going to either be the Sig or the Canic, and based off of your review, this is going to be good for me.
Okay, so this is what I will say. Canic, hands down, is a better weapon than the Glock and the Sig.
Oh, well, shit, you made it easy for me.
Yeah, hands down, bro. The trigger that comes in that Canic straight out the box is ridiculous. I mean, Canic just has a great trigger. A lot of people don't really go with the Canic because it has not had a lot of light. A lot of people don't talk about it. And the only reason is because Glock is a mastermind when it comes to advertising. Glock advertised, Glock made their gun and made it only suitable for law enforcement. Sig did about the same thing, and Canic didn't really do anything when it came to like advertising or anything like that. So it's one of those things. But once you shoot a Canic, the Glock don't. There's no comparison. There's really no comparison. The only reason I still buy Glocks other than Canics is because I'm scared of Canic's customer service, and I don't know, if something was to break or something like that, how hard would it be for me to get my gun back to them and get it fixed, or for them to replace my gun or anything like that. That's why I still kind of stick with the Stig. But I got 4 Canics, man, and I love them.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, 365 XL is not. It depends on what you want to do with the gun, also, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so let me ask you this. I feel like the Sig is pretty much comparable to a Glock 43, with the exception of the magazine count. But I have a magazine extension that gives me 10, and then I've got the 1 in the chamber. So I'm looking at 11. That Sig 365, I think, is a 12 rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
I tell people all the time, I don't carry a gun based on how many rounds it carries. I don't. I carry a gun based on how easy it is for me to put the round on target. Because on average, FBI, that the statistics show that on average, a gunfight lasts 3 to 4 rounds.
3 rounds, 3 seconds at 3 yards.
There you go. So you're talking about 3 rounds at 3 seconds to 3 yards. If it takes me 15 seconds to get it on there with the 43, or the
Yeah.
365, but it only takes me 3 seconds to get it on there with a 2-shot, my chances are way better with that 2-shot than it is with that 365.
That's a great way of looking at it, man.
Yeah, that's what I tell. That's why people ask, why do I carry 1911s? I shoot 1911s like, boy, I can split a fly with a 1911. You saw it on Wanted. You'll see it in life if you come to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I carry the guns that I know I can put targets on. I can clear, master grip, extend, and out, and I can get bullets on target the quickest. You know what I'm saying? So just the fact that I can do that with certain guns, those are the ones I can. I don't care about the magazine. I mean, the magazine capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that people get, and when I say people, I'm putting myself in this as well. Do you think that people get caught up too much in what's popular or what's like fashionable on Instagram? In terms of like what you're saying, you're like I carry the firearm that gives me the best chance to put the bullet on target, and then when I go to my firing range, it's like a country club. This place is so nice. It's in a very affluent area. None of the guys that work there, and these are all former Rangers, like forward operators, none of them carry anything that's bigger than a 365. None of them. Nobody has a Glock 19. Nobody has a full size 17. They've all got these small guns, and they're like, bro, like, yeah.
Well, I think people are too caught up in the news. The news doesn't really show the news. What people don't understand is what the shootings that the news shows, where it's 15 to 30 shots, are usually a gang war or something like that happen. It's not usually a robbery or something like me or you would be involved in or something like that. Some kind of self-protection. It's a hit. They got to hit on somebody, and they want to put as many rounds in that person as they can and make sure they die.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's a little different when it comes to carrying for me than it is, like a dope boy or a gang member or something like that. Yeah, they want that chopper. They want to be able to fit it in their pants if they can. They want that 30 round, that 30 round magazine or 30 round clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they want. But see, a lot of people don't understand that that's not the life that they're living. So they don't need that. And then they see all these other YouTubers and stuff like that talking about magazine capacity. And I see a lot of YouTubers talk about that, but it's not really about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about what can you get downrange the quickest. Because
if you're your capacity that you need to be most cognizant of is your situational awareness. Like, where are you putting yourself where you need 15 rounds and a second mag?
Yeah. And a lot of people ask me, why don't I carry a second mag? And I don't feel like I actually need one unless I'm working. I mean, and even with working, I just want my mags to get back to my rifle. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I'm using it for. So I mean, it's just it's one of those things that when people come to my training, that's what I teach on, is getting them rounds downrange the best and fastest way you can to beat that threat.
I like that. Well, hey, I want my followers here to get to know you, so we're going to do a couple rapid fire questions. All right, just give me the first thing that comes to mind. All right, you ready?
All right.
Glock or Sig?
Glock.
Ooh, I thought you just said Sig. All right, let's do this again. Glock, Glock or Canic?
Glock.
Listen, gave this resounding.
It's different because I'm a Glock armor.
Okay.
My whole career has been surrounded around Glock. I don't know how to take. I can clean a Sig. I mean, I can clean a Canic, but I can't take it apart and replace parts in it and stuff like that. I can do that with a Glock.
Okay.
So whenever it comes to guns, the reason why I say that is because I'm just so versatile when it comes to a Glock. I can do anything there is with a Glock, and it'll be fine. I know it'll run right. I can, try to fix a Canic and hope it runs, but I know that Glock gonna run. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. All right. Sports car or truck?
Sports car.
What's your sports car of choice?
I don't have one. I like motorcycles. If I was to get one, it would be a Nissan GT. It would be a Nissan GT.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's go. Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Biggie?
All day long, baby. All day long, man. That's my man right there, Biggie.
Yo, who are you listening to right now, music wise, like hip hop wise? Who are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling that Kanye, that and that Drake, but I always go back to listening to J. Cole. J. Cole's hand down my favorite.
Okay.
My favorite rapper. Yep.
I got to meet J. Cole. So you lived in Pennsylvania until when?
Man, it was probably 92. I was 10 years old when we moved from Pennsylvania.
Well, there's a university called Bloomsburg University. There's a town called Bloomsburg. It's a small town that's close to Westport, or Wilkes-Barre rather, close to Wilkes-Barre. And they have a university there, and they put on some amazing concerts. And I was DJing there at the time in the area, so I got a chance to help run some of these concerts. And we got to meet J. Cole probably in like 2009. I mean, he was so fresh in the game. We got to meet him in 2009, 2010, Kendrick Lamar. I got pictures with both of these guys.
Another one of my favorite, man. That's another one of my guys, man. I love Kendrick and I love J. Cole. I've done actual security for J. Cole.
Yeah.
I never met Kendrick.
A very reserved guy.
Right. Yes. Very.
Yeah. So
I mean, he does his thing, but
he does his thing. So I want to ask you one more thing before we get off of here. You know, one of the big questions that comes up in the security industry is, what do police officers think of security guards? So I'm going to give you the floor. And
I did a video on this.
No, I'm putting you on video right now and give you a chance to answer that question.
I actually did a video on this very question. Commander Hall asked me this question, but ultimately what it comes down to is we just don't want security guards putting themselves in a position to where they got to call for help because they overstep their boundaries. Security is different in different states. So in North Carolina, a security guard is just like a regular private citizen. They can't do any kind of arrest or anything like that. No, they can place them in cuffs for a certain amount of time, but after a certain amount of time, it's going to be misconstrued as kidnap and all this other stuff. So, when it comes to law enforcement, all we're looking for is that the security guard does not try to act like they're police. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you're not doing that, man, I have no problems with it. I have no problems with a lot of our security. There was one security guard that I had a problem with because he was actually trying to pull cars over on the street. And, that's one of those things where it's like, man, come on, man, you can't be doing that, So I think security is a very needed industry when it comes to any kind of law enforcement or protection of somebody's property or goods or anything like that. I think security is one of those things that's needed because there's not enough officers out here to do the off-duty work to protect those assets. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like security is one of those things, man, that is a good thing other than law enforcement that would help protect those assets. Just the presence of a security officer deters a lot of crime, man. Deters a lot of crime.
I would hope that you would reiterate this point that I'm going to make, and that's for security guards to be confident in your position. Be confident, be comfortable in who you are. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a security guard. Like, you do not have to do more. That I feel like so many people that are in this industry, the idea of observe and report, it seems like so demeaning, but in the Navy SEALs and in the Green Berets and in the Rangers, there are people within that highly important group of individuals that are the tip of the spear. Their only job is to be a scout or a spotter.
Right.
Go out, tell us what you see, and we're going to send in the other 8 guys.
Yep.
That's it. And that's a needed part of the military. People that are in the FBI and the CIA, quote unquote spies, all they do is just watch and report the information.
Right.
And I think that so many security guards, this stereotype of what we do, who we are, and what we've done in the past, I think that makes people feel a little less than, and it shouldn't, because that is a very needed aspect of not only law enfortement, but like you're talking about in terms of property with these retail establishments and companies and businesses and private entities. That is something that people need to know. Who's at my property when I'm not there? What's going on when I'm not at that apartment complex? And these are multi-million-dollar investments to people. That's something that is so important and it's so needed. Beyond that security camera, what do you see? Who's out there? What time are people coming in? This is so important. So, you know, I think that
it is. And see, the thing about it is that a lot of people get away from is that's what you are paid to do. You're
speak
not
on it.
paid to go and put your life in danger. You're not paid to put yourself in between that person and a bullet like I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get paid to just watch and make sure you got enough information for law enforcement when they come. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And that is one of, like, you don't understand how much that helps law enforcement, where we can go to a scene, talk to a security guard that saw everything, but they were back, back watching, and we get all the information we need. It's better to come to a scene and talk to a security guard than come to the scene and help a security guard or give CPR to a security guard.
Oh my
Because they
God.
get you.
Wait. Stop. Rewind. Say that shit again for the people in the back. Say what you just said.
So, as law enforcement, man, when we're answering these calls, we want to come to talk to you about what happened to the property, not what happened to you. We would rather come there and get information from you than help you by giving you CPR or loading you onto an ambulance because you just went too far. I mean, and that's basically what it comes down to when it comes to security. When I start seeing security guards doing all this stuff, and that's why that is the only reason why I don't like security guards that overstep, because I feel like I'm gonna be the one running to help them because they went too far and did too much than what they're getting paid to do.
Fam, that is some grown man talk right there.
I mean, that's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it is.
And you know what? Like, it's something I'm not taking any shots, but that is something that has to be said over and over again to a young man.
Oh, yeah.
When you're young, the idea of excitement and being in the middle of something, specifically for people who haven't served in the military, what you think is going to happen when the shit, quote unquote, hits the fan versus what really happens. You don't understand what it's like to see someone who's been shot. You don't understand what it's like to watch somebody who knows they're about to die. These younger guards,
they don't even know what it is to be shot at
or hit. Most of these guys have been
when I did my security guard work, armed security guard, it didn't hit me until I had to duck behind a car and get shot at. And I was like, bro, I'm only getting paid $12 an hour for this and no health insurance. Like, what am I doing? And I went to one of the guys that was, here in North Carolina, we have what we call company police.
Right.
And they're police officers, but they only do contract work like security. So the jurisdiction is only whatever that company owns. So if they own the parking lot, they have jurisdiction. Outside of that parking lot, they don't.
Okay.
But one of the police officers had to come to me and say, man, look, I know you want to be the police, but your day will come. And only way you're going to get there is if you don't have to duck behind these cars like that.
Right.
So stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I just had to sit back and look and like, he's right, man. I'm getting paid $12 to just, be on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? This gun on my side is for my protection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just one of them things, man. I am glad that you're out here giving, you and Commander Hall, man, and y'all's channels are really helping security officers out there really understand what the job is. There was a comment on one of my on the video I did about security. And it was like, so you mean to tell me if you see a woman getting beat up by her boyfriend or something like that, you're not supposed to act? I said, no, you're not. That is not your job. No. Your job, if you go act, you'll be on the same level as Billy Bob walking down the street acting. I said, that's not your job.
I tried to get across to a guy the other day. I said, I was in my DPSST, that's our governing body that covers law enforcement and security and corrections.
Right.
I said, the one thing that stuck out to me the most was this conversation where it's written in the manual that the victim, being the security guard, this is in relation to the security guard, the victim can become the aggressor based on the circumstances. And I was trying to explain this to this guy, like, listen, your jurisdiction is from this door to this line on the sidewalk. The second that person left that sidewalk, he's no longer involved in the issue that got you involved with him. So now you deploying your baton, which is on video, and you going across the street, which is on video, is you being the aggressor. Thank God you didn't hit him with that baton, because your ass would be sitting in jail right now.
Right.
And like, you know, we need, it blows my mind that, and maybe it's more of the fact that like these platforms weren't available, you know, because I can't imagine why other officers weren't taking the time to do this kind of stuff. But you know, we're here now, and I hope that more people will take the training aspect seriously for security, because I'm telling you this right now, Diesel man, like I'm in Portland. This is probably the activism capital of the United States.
Oh yeah.
And our city council, who is pretty much all activist centered, they tried to go after the police department last year. They tried everything they could to defund the police.
That
And
was a big thing that hit here. Yep.
the police basically said, you know what? Hey, no problem. You don't want us to do our job? Fine. We went from 320 some odd shootings last year. We're up to 940, and we're only in October. Okay.
See, now they've passed to where they want to what 2 point something billion or something like that they want to give to the law enforcement.
Well, not only that, but our commissioners have shifted their sights from law enforcement to security guards. We had a security guard about 3 months ago that tried to stop someone who was stealing pallets from a Lowe's. He was working at a Lowe's. He tried to stop someone that was stealing wooden pallets, and he shot the guy 7 times.
Okay.
This situation gave our leadership here in the city a perfect out, because they want to refund the police and reallocate the windfall of money that they have left over back to the police department. But they've got to do something in terms of activism to kind of placate to the people of Antifa and the people that are in this area that are wanting something. And they're coming right for security. They're coming right for us. So I cannot stress enough to these officers that it's not just about you. If you go out there and you do something stupid, you make a mistake, you fly off the handle, you put all of our positions and jobs in jeopardy. And, you know, I just hope that more people will kind of jump out in front of this and start teaching and training and trying to be more of a mentor to these younger officers and newer officers, because there's a great opportunity for us to make money here, for us to be of benefit to the community. But it's only going to take, I'm telling you, here in Portland, it's going to take one more situation like what happened 3 months ago, and they're coming right for us.
I mean, they did the same thing with the police, and they didn't learn their lesson. Like that's what I don't understand. It's like if you get rid of security, there's not enough officers out here to take the place of you guys. There's not. I mean, they can hardly fill the police department.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, off-duty money is good, but it ain't worth me losing a whole bunch of sleep for. You know what I'm saying? So, I work off-duty here, but I don't work it as much as I could.
Right.
Just on the fact I want a personal life.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, it's one of those things, man. You know, history always repeats itself, and I feel like I'm hoping before my career ends, police will be back to where we used to be. Security will be back where it used to be. And we won't have these problems of, you know, just people just looking so down on law enforcement and security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think that we're on the right track. You know, you and I are doing our part. Hopefully we're inspiring other people to do their part, because, man, you know, the African proverb, it takes a village. Right. And man, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. I know you're probably tired. You got a lot going on, but brother, man, I look up to you. I appreciate everything you're doing. And, you know, man, if I can ever be of any assistance or anything, please reach out.
Hey, man, same to you, bro. If you need anything, man, just holler at me. You want to do another live or another interview or whatever, man, just let me know.
Outstanding. All right, everybody, let's thank Diesel TV. Diesel, hey, shoot out your YouTube channel and your Instagram so people can find you.
YouTube on Diesel TV, Instagram is the same thing. Diesel TV, YouTube and Instagram. You guys come over, let's have a conversation. I answer all my comments, all my emails. I have a I have a phone number on my description that goes right to a phone. It's just for texting, though. You can't call it, but just for texting if you have any questions or anything like that. So you guys get with me, man. Let's have a conversation.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No
Hey,
problem.
everybody, listen, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Security Guard Spotlight. It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. As always, if you're getting any benefit from the videos that we are uploading, please like, share, and subscribe. As always, please watch your six and be great.